Hello, everybody. Anybody in English? Here is Olga from Costa Rica. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. at my place. It's not raining, thanks God. How is everybody? I'm here to answer your questions if you have some. $10 tarot question, $20 astrological question. You have the link PayPal me in the description of the event, and I also post it here in the chat. If you're interested by a reading of 30 minutes or 60 minutes with a discount, if you go to my website in the section reservation or book an appointment, you could see my agenda. And when you click on the day of your choice, you could see the discount on the basic AstroTarot reading. Okay, Mary, how are you? Yes, appointment reservation. Yeah. The discount will be available until Monday if you book during these next, let's say, 3 days. And on Monday, I will take off the discount from the agenda. So 30 minutes for 65 Canadians and 1 hour for 135 Canadians. There's a discount. Now, if somebody has a question now, like to ask me now with the tarot, you're welcome. How is everything, Mary? Where are you? Still in Europe, right? In the Slavic country. This is close to Russia. How is everything? How do you live the eclipses? Oops. Yeah, forgot the light. Yeah. The eclipses. Macedonia, yes. Macedonia. You speak Croatian or Serbian? Can you remind me, please? I'm curious. So Macedonia, yes. You speak Croatian. It's very tough eclipse. Why? Macedonia. It's another language. Yes, you're right. Another Slavic language. Why it's tough? Do you have planets in the 15th degree of Gemini and Sagittarius, or in the both signs? Because normally the eclipses have an impact on your personal situation, on your emotional state, on the condition of your physical body, if you have the luminaries in the degree of the eclipses. Now we'll have in 1 week the new moon and the solar eclipse in the first degree of Cancer, even though the nodes are already in Gemini Sagittarius, and then we have the third eclipse on the 7th of July. You have Mars in the 20th degree of Gemini. Because normally, me personally, I don't like big orbs, big margins. I try to stay as far as the conjunctions of the eclipses and the planets are concerned, the conjunction of the point of the eclipse. I prefer to keep to the orb of 3 degrees only. It's a little bit large. Like 4 and a half, 5 degrees. It's a little bit a lot. Well, some astrologers consider the orb of 3 degrees, more than 3 degrees, bigger than 3 degrees. You are asleep, you cannot resist sleep. Very strange. Normally, when we have the full moon and this lunar eclipse, we are too excited, we are too nervous. We are not sleepy during the full moon and the lunar eclipse. So now, because the moon is waning, right? Waning. In 1 week we will have the new moon. So me, I feel always very weak during the new moon. I don't have enough force or strength. I like the full moon, because I was born during the full moon. That's why the energy of the position of the luminaries is familiar to me. Now, normally we feel weak before the new moon. Neptune in the 20th degree of Pisces, and so what? You mean transit Neptune? Does this transit affect you? Because when you talk about the transits of the superior slow planets, Neptune, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you have to trace first of all their transits forward with your personal planets. Well, okay, if it's squaring, yes, sure. If it's squaring your Mars, yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, you get totally lost by the energies, because of the energies of Neptune, which squares your Mars. Yeah, because when you have, slow planets squaring or aspecting by any major aspect your natal social or slow planets, these are the aspects with a purely evenemential effect. In this case, you have to consider the natal planet that receives the square of Neptune, for example, as the element of the house where it's placed, of its placement. It's more important to check the transits of social and slow planets towards your personal planets. And as far as the eclipses are concerned, try to stay close to the orb of 3 degrees for the conjunction. You know, the point of the eclipse, when you say it's squaring the natal Saturn, I don't like to, me personally again, I don't like to focus on other aspects than the conjunction. And even if you consider the square to Saturn, it's not a personal planet. Again, it's the element of, is the rule of the 4th house, but the element of which house? In which house you have Saturn? So your sleepy state, the mood and weakness is not explained by the square of the eclipse towards your Saturn, because Saturn doesn't describe your psychological characteristics, neither psychological state. This aspect is purely, Saturn Aquarius. I mean, in what house you have the Saturn is the ruler of the 4th, but I don't consider Saturn in Aquarius. I don't consider the placement of the social and slow planets in the signs of the zodiac for the natal astrology, only as the elements of the houses. So this square, 5th house, okay, the square of the point of the eclipses towards your Saturn is purely evenemential aspect. It affects the 5th house, because Saturn is the element of the 5th house, and the 4th house, because Saturn is the ruler of the 4th house. So you may experience difficulties in realizing the houses 5 and 4. But your emotional state, energetical state, it's rather Mars that is in square with Neptune, but not the eclipses. The eclipse in square to Saturn. You see, because the aspects between social and slow planets, between social and social, between slow and slow planet, they should be interpreted only on the level of events, bringing into interaction the houses of their placement. If you had, for example, Neptune square moon, the moon or the sun or Venus, well, in your case, the Mars, of course, you have this aspect brings a difficult emotional state, energetical state. In your case, Mars, it's energy, right? So, what is Aquarius? Saturn in Pisces in the 5th, but what are you in Aquarius? Yeah, if you want to book, yeah, if you book online my agenda, there's always a discount. I always offer discounts after the live streaming. You mean the cusps of the fourth house is in Aquarius? You have to consider Uranus first of all. Why you take Saturn as the ruler of the fourth house? The first ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. If it's not personal, I mean, if Uranus doesn't have aspects with the personal planets, if Uranus is not the ruler of the ascendant, or if it's not in the first house, it's not personal, it's unpersonal. If the first ruler of the house is not personal, you can take the second ruler if you have two rulers. But we always prefer to take, it's always better to take the first ruler. What you don't know? I'm telling you, even about the cusp of the houses. Yeah, so if we close the subject of the booking, if you go to my website and agenda, you have discounts until Monday. I mean, you can book for any day during the next 2 weeks, but the discount will be shown in the agenda until Monday. If you go to my website to check my agenda today, on Saturday and Sunday, you will have discounts about Saturn. But if you have the fourth house, the cusp of the first house, or the fourth house, the bottom of the sky in Aquarius, its ruler is Uranus. The same as you should take, Saturn you should take as a ruler of Capricorn. The first ruler is Uranus. Okay. So, of course, we can consider the squares of the point of the eclipses. But I prefer to focus on the conjunctions only. No, Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius, but the first ruler is Uranus. The Saturn was the ruler, the first and the only, before Uranus was discovered. It has the both. Like Scorpio, its first ruler is Pluto and the second is Mars. For Pisces, the first ruler is Neptune, the second is Jupiter. But you always have to take the first ruler, first of all. Yeah, because the Aquarius belongs to the channel of Aquarius, Uranus, 11th house. But the Saturn and Uranus are both, first Uranus, then Saturn, are the significators of the 11th house. But Saturn is the second. So don't panic. I mean, I think that in your case, the square Neptune Mars has a more powerful impact on your energetical state than the square of the point of the eclipse with your Saturn, which is a social planet again. And Mars is your personal planet, which reflects the way you spend energy. That's why Neptune that squares your Mars, you feel it this way. I notice that, for example, when Neptune squares or is in a position with my moon or the sun, the moon, it's rare, right? Because these aspects are rare because Neptune is very slow. But I mean, when the transit moon is in square with my natal Neptune, it's not the same actually when the transit Neptune is in square with the moon. It happens rarely, but even if you have the background aspect, Sun square Neptune that we had 2 days ago, right? So the transit Sun in square with the transit Neptune. I feel totally lost, even though my personal planets are not touched by this transit aspect. I feel lost, like I don't know what to do, and I'm attracted to alcohol, and I just want to stay in my imaginary world, virtual world. But your Mars, yes, your Mars is a little bit Well, 5 degrees the orb. If you take the degree of the lunar eclipse that we have on the 5th. You have, even if you, okay, let's say we admit the orb 5 degrees. Okay, let's say that your Mars in the 10th degree or 20th degree of Gemini was touched by the eclipse on the 5th. Let's admit this big orb margin. But in addition to that, you have Neptune square Mars. Yes. But this is your energy state, low energy. But what's going on the level of events? What are the news? What is the evolution of your life, of your plans, of your projects? How is everything going? What is the situation over there? Me here, us here, we live almost like open air. Everybody's outside in their gardens and pure air. Yeah, air is pure, the nature, so we don't suffer. A man contacting, you mean it's a private, personal issue, love relationship, or what about professional situation? For the first time in 6 years, yeah. We have to see during the reading, yeah. You see, everything happens in one's specific, particular situation, life, and destiny, according to the aspects in the predictive techniques. This primary direction, secondary progressions, the eclipses, and the transits. Okay, so sometimes we think that things take too long, too much time, too long to happen, right? But the things happen in the right moment. But very often it seems to us that it's unstandable, it's unbearable. We want things to happen easily, more easily, and more quickly. Mm. The third is not working. Well, I imagine, yes, the third is not working. So I don't know, yeah, if you saw, because on Instagram I always go live only in French and Russian, because I don't have time for tarot cards in 3 languages. I showed the other day on my Instagram channel that I have a new deck, Lenormand. You see the extended version. And they're with a golden edge like this. Yeah, and there's 48 cards in addition to the basic 36. Yeah, there are some more. And yeah, they're just gorgeous. And yeah, I have all those cards here. These are all tarot cards. Yeah, I have around like 10 decks already. And it's so weird that it works when we try to analyze the situation, to predict the evolution of the situation. It works. Yeah, they're very beautiful, these Lenormand cards. You see? So yeah, I don't ask you to ask me tarot question for $10. If you want to book a reading, we will see your situation like in details closely. But you can ask me any other question about the theory, something theoretical. Yeah, also use Rider White, but Radiant Rider White, because they're bigger. I will send you the link. How to pay the PayPal? I shared the link in the beginning of the chat. Look in the beginning of the chat, and also look in the description of this event. In the description, you have the link to PayPal me. You enter manually 65 Canadians. You have to enter manually. Yeah. So yeah, in Costa Rica we have. We started 1 month ago, a rainy season. So for the past, especially 3 weeks, it rained so heavily, especially in the afternoon. Today, I'm lucky because it's already 2:30 almost p.m. and it's not raining, because yesterday it was very difficult. I couldn't go out to leave the house, and also there were problems with electricity, with the power. So I was praying last night that I don't have the power cut this morning, because when I planned the live event, I have a lot of viewers in French, as you know, and also in Russian. So in the morning in Costa Rica, and if the there is no electricity, so I get ready, but I cannot get connected, and for me, it's very stressful. But you want me to answer this question now, here, or during the reading? I can pull out 3 cards here if you want. So during the 30 minutes reading, we will analyze other questions. If you want me, if you want, I can pull out 3 cards, because it's a very simple. Look, I will do like this. I will pull out just 3 cards, and you will enter manually, let's say 66 Canadians, $1 more. It's okay? You will send $66 instead of, I mean, Canadians. It's less in US. $1 more, okay? I will pull out 3 cards. If my daughter, okay, is my daughter going to marry in September because of the corona? Where is she? Okay, if you want. Okay, thank you. Where is she? You mean to get married in? She's in Macedonia. Just 3 cards. You see, I cut the deck. There is the rider, so there will be movement, news or movement. This will be over the confinement, you say, when we are closed and blocked. Yes, we planned the wedding. Okay, look, this is the general background energy of the situation, the rider. Now, I open the normal cards. The state of things now, the fox, number 14. You have to think. You have to get to elaborate a plan, to be smart. There is a solution, but you have to connect your brain. You have to analyze and to weight all the details, all pros and cons, like to analyze and to evaluate objectively all the elements of the situation. It won't be simple, but the fox means that the person is or should be smart. Don't get in. Don't be too emotional, very rational, like the fox. This is the state of things now. In the past, what does influence the situation, actual situation from the past? There is the boat, number 3. You see, you planned a wedding, right? So this is the changes in life, moving forward towards another life. This is what she wanted in the past. Now, we have been blocked because of the virus. In the present state of things, today you have to be smart, as I said, the fox, and the outcome is the storks. For me, it's yes, because this is a change. It's when you move to another house, to another apartment. It's not for me. If the answer was no, we would have had the cards of blockage, like cross or coffin or whatever thing is, like stuck. No. For me, it's a positive answer. I think it's yes. I will pull out 2 more. Oh, look at this, how it's beautiful. Lily and the woman, because number 29 represents the person who asked the question. And Lily, this is the card of the marriage. For me, I always interpret this as a marriage because it's a change of social status, the purity, family values, married woman. What change can you expect? What change can she count on, and can you count on the both, the stork, her and Lily? Change of social status. She will become married woman. It's a marriage. For me, it's yes. You see. So during the reading, we will focus on your other questions. Okay, astrological, also astrologically, from astrological point of view. So yeah. Now it's so weird that we have the sun that came out, because for the past, like yesterday, it was very difficult because the water falls like a wall of water, and you can do nothing. So you will let me know, because it's in September. It's in 3 months, and the card said that yes. As for me, I trust my cards. Yeah. What else? Do you want to ask something like in general about life? Yeah. This is very interesting that we had I think it was mid-March. It was mid-March when they closed the borders here, because I remember the last time I was on the beach. It was March 12th. I went to the beach, like, during the same day. In the morning, I went there in the morning. I came back in the afternoon, and 2 days later they closed the beaches. Now the beaches are closed. It's crazy. No, they reopened them 2 weeks ago, but only in the morning. This is insane. From 5 a.m. until 8 a.m. Who will go to the beach at 5 a.m.? I mean, only those who live on the coast, the surfers. But if I don't live in the valley, Central Valley, I cannot go in at 5 to the beach. I will have to get out of the water at 8 a.m. because the police will come and will tell me to leave. It will be a stress for me. If I go down from the mountains to the coast, Pacific coast, I would like to stay at least 1, 2, or 3 days in the hotel, right? To see the sunset, because between 8 and 11 is the best time in the morning. Even during the rainy season, it doesn't rain in the morning normally. So how will I go to the beach? And I will have to get out from the water at 8 a.m. I'll kill myself, So I wait until they open totally the beaches. Yeah. And it's frustrating because you live in the country where you have 145 beaches officially, and you cannot go there. But at least I live in the mountains and I have the nature. You see the birds, the animals, the flowers, and pure air. So at least this. But it's crazy that today I was so scared that this morning that we won't have internet, that we have interruption of the power, because it was the case for the last week especially. So I have a lot of work. Yes, you see, I do things in 3 languages, and like it's as if I was doing the triple job, like 3 times more. So I would like to have time and resources to translate all my lessons of my school in English. For the moment, I'm creating the lessons of the Natural Astrology School in Russian and French, and it takes a lot of effort and time. Maybe later in the future, I will translate all this material in English, because I would like to enlarge my audience, you see, to go to become known in the English-speaking audience. Is not stop interrupted into your place also. Internet is interrupted all the time. Because here we have don't forget that here a tropical climate. We have only 2 seasons, not 4 seasons. So the rainy season starts in June, and it lasts until this end of November. So between December and May, the weather is perfect. You don't have any single rain in 6 months. So that's why they call it high season, and everybody wants to come to Costa Rica between December and April, because the beaches during the dry season, this is just something, it's a paradise. But when it rains heavily in the afternoon, you cannot go to water. It's very difficult to go to the ocean when it rains. Now, so it's a tropical climate, so we have 2 seasons, and I live in the mountains. The weather is not humid here. Of course, it's humid after the rain, but the air is just perfect. It's rich in oxygen, and of course, it's good for skin. But I mean that in the mountains, when it rains heavily, they have problems with the wires. And last year they replaced all the infrastructure, the wires in the sector, because you have a lot of trees here. You have houses, condominiums, villas. So when it rains heavily and there is a thunderstorm, lightning, sometimes they cut electricity in the station in the center somewhere. So in order to avoid damage by lightning, because it's a tropical. If you talk about tropical rain, so they cut sometimes, and it can be 10 minutes, 2 minutes, or sometimes 2 hours. But I think there was a problem last week. I mean, this week, yesterday, they were repairing something. That's why we stayed without power during 5 hours. So today, I didn't have interruption during the live streamings in Russian and French, and now it's not raining. Well, the sky is a little bit gray, but there is even some sunshine. And so I'm happy that I could live stream. So yeah, you get used very quickly to the life, in this perfect climate, because in the mountains it's fresh, 16 degrees at night and 28, 29 during the day. It's fresh because it's 1,500 meters above the level of the sea. So it's not hot, it's just perfect throughout the year. But sometimes, there are these problems with electricity, and also a lot of dogs for the security, and it can get on people's nerves. People drive like crazy. Also, I don't drive here. I'm scared. I prefer to take the bus or Uber in French. So, well, if you want, if somebody wants to live here, you need to have the income from remote job, remote activity, and remote income. Otherwise, what will you do if you don't have money here? Whether you have money from somewhere, you just use this money to live here, or you have remote control of your life. You work remotely and you make money from home. If you can do this is my case. Of course, I'm happy with the conditions of my life here. Yeah. So look, I think that maybe because people always there are a lot of people for French streamings. Maybe I have to think how to share the links of my English streamings in different Facebook groups, because I always announce that I will live stream. People sometimes join. There are sometimes I can have 10 people in English. Then they watch the video and record it. But I would like to have more English-speaking audience. I have to think how to do this, how to attract more viewers in English. So I think that maybe I will stop here, Mary. So do you use WhatsApp? Do you have my WhatsApp number? Do you use WhatsApp? Or you can contact me by email or by Skype. Yeah, you have the links to PayPal me link if you want to enter manually $70 Canadians. You have the link to my booking system, my website. Starting from the next week, so next Monday, I will be, Skype. I will, now because I will take 2 days off, tomorrow and on Sunday, okay? So for your daughter, we had good news, and I trust my cards. So text me by Skype, okay, if you have questions. But normally you have all the links that you need. So I'll go for a walk, yeah. Hvala, yes, of course, hvala. But this is not the same. But hvala is a Serbian, no? I know one sentence. Hoću da govorim srpski kao ti. This is Serbian, right? Hoću da govorim srpski kao ti. It sounds like Russian, but it's not Russian, but it sounds. Hoću da govorim srpski kao ti. All right. Blagodaram. You write in Cyrillic also, like in Russian, right? Okay. It's Macedonian Blagodaram. So it's hvala, it's in Serbian, right? Croatian. Okay, so I wait for your message in Skype, and you have all the links. If you have questions, text me on Skype, okay? So don't worry for your daughter, and we will talk about your situation during the reading, okay? So take care of yourself, huh? Goodbye.